Hey guys, it's Jessica here and I'm back with another talking video today. I'm going to be talking about the possible reasons why some Koreans may underrate the Filipino English accent. A few months ago, I made a video on cancel Korea which went quite viral in the Philippines. My video was trending number 1, which was an honor, but at the same time made me really sad reading the comments. In that video, there were lots of comments of people saying that Koreans will underrate the Filipino English accent or will underrate Filipinos in general, but still come to the Philippines to learn English. And I know there was another video that many of you linked in the comments by the time, which was this video about this celebrity.
I'm a little bit dusty.
Mimicking the Filipino English accent as if she was mocking it. And that certainly did make me feel uncomfortable, like it was really not so appropriate. I personally learned English in the Philippines. I grew up in the Philippines for 9 years, so I may have the Filipino English accent, and there was this incident that made me feel ashamed of my accent. It was a time when I already became a trainee in a certain K-pop company, and there was a time when a bunch of visitors came to our company to look at each trainee one by one. It was my turn and they asked what are my special abilities, and I said, oh, I know how to speak in English. I introduced myself in English, like, hi, my name is blah blah blah, and after that he was like, yeah, you know how to speak in English, but you have the Filipino English accent. And honestly, I can tell you that really hurt me. I know, if I think about it now, he is the wrong one to say that, but by the time I was just so hurt, I was just so young, and the immediate thought in my head was that, okay, I should change my accent. So that was a time when I started watching a lot of Western media and entertainment just to change my accent, which was totally, absolutely unnecessary. I could really relate to you guys when you think that Koreans underrate the Filipino English accent, because I've experienced it myself, and that is not the only time. Ever since the time I came to Korea last March 2020, I've met a lot of different people through a lot of different work opportunities, which I'm very, very thankful for. Every time I speak English in front of them, they would be impressed. They would be like, oh, you're so good at English. Like, wow, like, where did you learn your English? Or some people even say, oh, where in the US are you from? Or even something like, oh, you sound native, you sound like a native English speaker. And then my reply obviously would be, oh, I learned my English in the Philippines. I never learned English in the US. And I would say like 80% really of their reactions would be, wow, you don't have the Filipino accent. And by them saying that, it also implies that they are underrating that Filipino accent. That because I don't have it, I'm good. But if I had it, will I be bad? I don't know. So every time a lot of Koreans show such reactions regarding my accent, I just feel really bad for them. Because as I keep saying, accent is it's just like a package. But then there were some people who weren't like that. I remember there was this one person, he has been to the Philippines and he has been to an elementary school in the Philippines. He saw the students there learning English during class, and he said he was very impressed by how the English lessons weren't so strict and pressuring to the students, which is normally the case in Korea. And because he was showing such positive reactions, I was really happy and thankful. And I mentioned how there are many Koreans who are underrating this type of accent. His answer to this was it really touched me. He said, well, most Koreans don't even know how to speak in English fluently. Well, many Filipinos know how to speak in English, which is absolutely true. Okay, so that was a very long intro. Let me just jump off to the core of this video, which is the reason why. It's going to be based on my personal opinion and observations, so please don't take my words as it is. The first reason, which would be the most dominant one, I would say, is because of the pro-Western mindset of many Koreans. There is still the tendency in Korean society that they look up to the American English, the British accent. And of course, for that mindset, you can trace back to the history and the culture of Korea, but I'm not going to dig deeper than this. But what I could tell you is that pro-Western mindset is quite prevalent in Korea still. That is why many people could think that American or British English accent is the accent. Personally, I think that this is something that should be gone as time passes by, so the day will come that no matter what kind of accent you have, you will be respected. The second reason that I would like to talk about is how the media portrays the Philippines in Korea. I think I could say that I've talked to quite a number of people in Korea about me living in the Philippines, and many of their reactions would be, oh my god, isn't it so dangerous there? Like the drugs, pickpocketing. And of course, I know where they are coming from by saying that. It is partly true. You know, there are dangerous places in the Philippines, but there are also safe places in the Philippines. It really depends on where you are. But because in Korean media there are many news or article titles like, oh, this is happening in the Philippines, like, oh, this just happened in the Philippines, and they are usually negative. However, there are also very positive articles about the Philippines, the tourism, like Boracay, Cebu. Those places have such a good image to so many Koreans. It's like for many people, when you think of the Philippines, they think of Cebu, Boracay. Because the Philippines is such a huge part of me, every time I meet different people here in Korea and I were to introduce myself, I can never ever not mention the Philippines. And as I've mentioned, they will show various reactions. What I can do, whether their reactions are negative or positive, I will have to say that I care about the country, which means that if you are being rude to me for me staying in the Philippines or me having a Filipino accent, I will honestly speak up for myself. Although some people really will hate me for doing that. But I think those small steps are eventually something that will help improve really toxic stereotypes that many people have around this whole world. Of course, I should not be rude. You know, you cannot fight fire with fire. So, fight fire with fast sea kind of mindset, if you know what I mean. Yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about. Alright guys, so thank you so much for watching today's video. Let me know about your thoughts in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye bye!